Why nobody taught you how your own body works? Why did you grow up thinking that your period is your cycle instead of understanding the complex rhythm of hormones shaping your brain, your mood, your energy, and even how you relate to others? I had the same question when I discovered there are phases to my menstrual cycle. And I also learned that this wasn't an accident. Women have been systematically left out of biology and medicine for centuries, and we are still the generation that still lives these consequences. Let's go back in history for a second. In the 19th century, doctors believed that the uterus was mobile. Yes, you heard it right. They thought that it literally wandered around in the body, causing hysteria. That's where the word comes from, actually. Hysteria. It's Greek for uterus. So if a woman felt sad, angry, or just unwell, the explanation wasn't stress, social conditions, or the hormones. It was that her uterus had gone rogue. And treatments included everything from bed rest to removing the uterus entirely. Now, fast forward, hormones were only discovered about 120 years ago. That's shockingly recent. And most research was done on men, because men were considered the default human. Their biology was seen as something more stable and predictable, while women's fluctuating hormones were considered too messy and too complicated, which they really are. And this bias carried to medicine, psychology, and then later on into the workplace. And women were just left without a real map of their own bodies. And worse, they were even taught to feel shame and guilt for experiences that actually were biologically normal. Things like PMS, fatigue, mood shifts, cravings, period, they were all labeled as weaknesses or inconsistencies. And that shame didn't just appear overnight. It was passed down. Generations of women were told to suppress, to hide, to push through. Think about it. Your grandmother was taught not to talk about her period. Your mother probably carried some guilt for resting when she needed to. And now you might also feel guilty for slowing down before your period, even if your body was naturally designed for it. That's generational programming. And then capitalism came along and doubled down. The modern work system was actually built by men and for men. The 9 to 5 workday mirrors the exact male 24-hour testosterone cycle. High in the morning, steady throughout the day, and then dip at night. It's perfect for that linear productivity. But women, we run on a 28-day cycle, the infradian rhythm. Estrogen, progesterone, and all the shifts between them change how our brain focuses, how we handle stress, how social or how introspective we feel. Yet the system expects us to show up the same way every day, all month long. So what happens when you completely ignore the female design? Burnout, PMS gets worse, fertility is declining, rising rates of anxiety and depression. And that's not because women are broken or they are the weak sex. It's because the system was never built for us in the first place. And capitalism benefits from all of this. Think about it. If women feel their biology is a problem, they will spend more money on quick fixes, painkillers, diets, productivity hacks, endless supplements, all to try to fit into a system that was never designed for them. So, when you wonder why you were never taught this in school or why it feels like your body is working against you, the answer is so much bigger than just biology. It's history, it's culture, and then it's profit. But here's something that I really want you to remember. Your biology, it's intelligent design. It's not something it's not designed to be inconvenient. Your cycle is not a flaw that has to be fixed or suppressed by using a pill. It's rhythm, it's feedback, it's a loop, it's a guide. And once you start living by it instead of fighting against it, everything shifts. You stop feeling guilty for the moments when you need rest. You stop questioning yourself when your energy dips. You stop comparing yourself to men or even to your own good days. And you start appreciating yourself and you start loving yourself even on those days when you feel off. Because the reality is you're not off. You're just comparing it to the days when your hormones are up and when your brain feels more switched on. So when you start living in tune with your biology, you start using your natural phases of your cycle as a map, because that's what they were intended to be, a map. So when estrogen is high, you lean more into creativity and visibility. When progesterone is high, you turn to more focus, more detail, more grounded routines. During menstruation, you reflect, you reset, you renew. So the real question isn't why nobody taught us this, because now we know the answer. It was never in the system's interest. The real question is, now that we know, what will we do about it? Because if you're watching this, you're part of a generation of women that breaks the cycle of silence. You're part of a shift where women stop treating their biology as an afterthought and start using it as a foundation for health, work, and life. So if I were to summarize my rant here, it would be this. Your body was never the problem. The system was. And it's time to stop squeezing yourself into structures that don't fit and start building new structures that actually do. Let me know in the comments how easy you find talking about periods, talking about hormones in public, maybe at work with colleagues. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into how to use your biology to your own advantage. Sending love. Till next time.